Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Craig Power with Power Realty Advisors based in Hingham, Mass. And today's question is, what is assessed value? Okay, I'm far from a tax expert, but this should be an easy little crash course on property taxes. It's a question we get a lot as real estate agents. People ask us about the assessed value and what that means. They might be going on Zillow or Realtor.com and they might see the annual taxes due for a particular property that's on the market. We can get into that. First off, right off the top, you should not use the assessed value to determine the sale price or the market value of a home that you're looking at all. It's basically irrelevant. Before we even get into the explanation about market value versus assessed value, we should probably just talk about property taxes and the assessment itself. So let's take this step by step and define everything for you. Property taxes are one of the main revenue streams for your local government. I know everybody hates paying taxes, but property taxes in particular, those are hopefully reflected your tax dollars in your surroundings, right? Hopefully you can see where that stuff's going. Fire department, local schools, government employees like teachers, roads. If you have a mortgage, chances are that your tax payment is wrapped up into your mortgage. Once you pay off your house, you pay off your mortgage, you will still be getting a tax bill. That's certainly not going away. As far as the assessment itself, when that takes place, the tax assessor doesn't go into your house. They're a representative of your local government or a third-party vendor of your local government. They will physically go to your house. I guess they may request access or have in the past, especially these days that's not happening. There have even been some legal battles, I think, about tax assessors requesting access to come inside and diligently inspect a home. Generally, that's not how it's done. They assess the land value and the building value separately. There's a third category for other improvements like a shed or a barn. You can look up the assessment information on your property or really any property pretty easily. It's right there at your fingertips. And you'll see that differential too between the land value and the building value that they estimate. Around here, Greater Boston, South Shore where we work, it's really easy to find this info. It's different town to town. So Hingham, where I live, they have their Vision Government Solutions website. And then, Marshfield, where I used to live, uses like a Patriot Properties website. So different websites. It differs town to town. These are third-party vendors, and some are easier to use than others. Naturally, the assessed value follows the market value in that a $2 million home in a highly desirable area is going to be taxed higher than that crappy piece of rural swampland that nobody wants in the middle of nowhere. I don't think that requires much explaining. Assessed value is partially based on comps. It's only a ballpark figure. It's just a starting point. It follows the real estate market. Those properties, those recent sales around you, they have a bearing on what your assessed value is. The properties around you, the location you're in, those all factor in. Here's the thing to know and remember. Tax assessed value is an approximation of market value and only an approximation. It's only a yardstick. Market fluctuations may actually mean that tax assessed values lag behind actual market values. In this market, I can tell you that's definitely the case. The reason these assessed values are usually chasing the market value is that these assessment valuations are usually not calculated until the beginning of the next calendar year. We've had prices rising around here for a long time. It makes sense that the assessed values would be consistently lower when you look at these listings. Now, conversely, if we had a period of declining property values and home sales, I'm talking over a period of years at least, it makes sense that the same effect would be happening and people would actually be getting assessed for more than their property is worth. That's assessed value. And while we're doing this, I think it would help. I think we should go through your annual property tax bill, right? How do we get this bill? How do we get to this number? As I mentioned before, I'm taking Marshfield as an example. It's a real estate market I know very well. I grew up in the Brant Rock neighborhood. Some people say I could walk the Brant Rock jetty blindfolded with my hands tied behind my back. That's what many people say. Many people are saying this. I'm looking at a home on the market in Marshfield. It's listed for sale for $799,000. It is assessed at, you can find the assessed value on the Marshfield Patriot Properties website, or probably just on the listing itself. It is assessed at $661,800. Massachusetts taxes are calculated on a per 1,000 basis. So the first step in the equation is taking that $661,800 of assessed value and then dividing it by 1,000. So we'll go ahead and do that. 661,800 divided by 1,000. Geez, I hope this is the way you do it. This is the way I've always done it. Now I'm second guessing myself. The remainder is then 661.8, which we will then multiply by the Marshfield property tax rate, listed online as $13.33. That gives us, as long as you round up the last dollar, an annual tax bill of $8,822. That's exactly what you'll see on the listing. That's how you do it. Take the assessed value, divide it by 1,000, take the remainder of that, and multiply it by the tax rate. The result is your annual tax bill. That's how they get the number. I know I got into the weeds a little bit there, but I hope this video is still beneficial to you in some way. Keep in mind, if you're a buyer in the real estate market today and you're looking to make an offer on a home, and what you're trying to do is glean some relevant information from the tax assessed value to help shape your offer, I'm sorry, but you're looking in the wrong place. There's no real correlation to today's market value. You're not getting anything from the assessed value. You literally have more luck using the Zillow Zestimate, but actually you wouldn't, because it's also garbage. The question comes up, why are property taxes so high in this town versus this other town where they're lower? I want to live where the property taxes are lower, but does that mean that the roads are falling apart or the school system's bad? No, it doesn't. There's no simple formula. There's no easy one-word answer to that question either. It turns into the endless left versus right debate. I can try to boil it down for you. Essentially, if your government has more money, they can do more things. They can do more things for you and your community. But in order to do those things, they must collect more taxes. I should add, some towns and counties are better at managing money than others. It's a reason to get involved and keep an eye on your local government. Some real estate agents are great at this. It's totally a weak point in my game. I always say I'm going to get involved, perform my civic duty, but instead I just forget what I was doing. I start reading some spammy James Bond articles. I never do anything. You should care, and I should care about our local government. It has a ripple effect if they were ever misappropriating funds or if they owe money. There's an infamous story about a young mayor of Partridge, Minnesota, who spent the entire town budget on a winter sports complex called Icetown. It set the town back years. But in conclusion, I don't think your property tax bill or your tax assessment should be a major motivating factor in your home search. That is our little fun run on property taxes and assessed value. I'd love to hear any ideas for videos to do in the future from our viewers. If you have any ideas, you can always email me or message me. Thank you for watching and have an amazing day.